We're back with Ruth Sackman, president of the Foundation for the Advancement in Cancer Therapy, and joining us is recovered patient Bernard Nevins, and we welcome you. You had an interesting case history, and what approximately was the date of your diagnosis?
That was about July of 1974.
Oh, 14 years now.
That's right.
Yeah. What kind of cancer did you have?
Colon.
Colon cancer. With, I understand, quite a predisposition.
Well, my mother and father died some many years back of the same thing that caused it, metastasized greatly in their case, and they were both dead. And both had colostomies, and they were dead within a year.
Within a year. So
about a year. Yeah.
I guess the question is, what is the difference post-surgical for you?
Well, I think that I try to control the stress factor somewhat, easier said than done, but worked hard on that, and still do, and also on the dietary level.
That's important.
Food is quite important.
Now, you had a resection, and it was not advised that you have chemotherapy at that time.
No.
Ruth, how does a person know, as Bernie did, what nutritional program is just right and will work?
Well, we're available to give that kind of guidance or to refer the patient to someone with experience in the nutritional area with cancer. There are a lot of people doing nutritional guidance, but it's not always applicable to the cancer patient. Now, with Bernie, he not only changed his dietary program, but he changed his lifestyle. His attitude was changed as well because he did have stress in his life.
Was that difficult?
Well, it's difficult, I guess, for anybody, you know.
Yeah.
Under pressure.
The whole point of incorporating the two areas is to see that you achieve normal body function. Otherwise, the foods one eats are not metabolized competently, the digestive secretions aren't available, the body is incapable of eliminating its accumulation of toxic material, and we're all exposed to toxic substances at all time. It's a healthy immune system that keeps that under control.
Now, of course, cancer is such a global subject. I guess it's important for people to know what it is and to keep up with the research and what else is happening.
Well, our position of what cancer is different from the medical community in that they determine that the tumor itself is the cancer problem, and we feel it is not. It's a systemic disease. There's a systemic cause for it. Something disrupts the body's ability to produce normal, healthy cells in every instance, and that is where the correction ought to be made.
And of course, following surgery with this biological repair.
Yes. Well, certainly surgery isn't going to be that damaging to the body, and there are techniques that can destroy cancer cells without doing so much damage to the patient that the body itself is incapable of repairing or sustaining life. In some instances, chemotherapy causes the demise of the patient.
So that there's a big choice there.
There's a choice. What is more available today, and we feel should be used on a broader scale, probably improved, the technique of using it can be improved, and that is what we call whole body hyperthermia. Actually, it's a fever. Fever is considered one of the body's normal healing processes, but this is done artificially so that you don't have to ignore the tumor itself. Some people have been conditioned to believe that the tumor must be controlled, that you can't ignore the tumor and just start the body repair. So you can take care of both areas. You can do it either surgically or through whole body hyperthermia, and then begin the biological repair.
Well, of course, again, we ask how much the individual can know, should know. I mean, of course, you as a layperson are encyclopedic, and the average person, I guess, researches and perhaps not at the right moment. How do people go about getting all of this information about the possibilities?
Well, our role should be to present it as fairly as possible and as often as possible, because there really is no way for the individual to collect the kind of data that we've collected over an 18-year period and made changes periodically along the way.
Is the literature up to date?
We keep it up to date.
But I mean, is there writing constantly on some of the newer things? Is that mainstream so that all the options are out for an airing?
Well, one has to be somewhat cautious these days, because the whole idea of using non-toxic therapies is beginning to become mainstream. And with it, of course, you find a lot of people overly enthusiastic, dedicated to helping the cancer patient, but without the experience and the background to do it.
Of course, yes.
Now that can be a trap for the cancer patient, so one must be quite cautious. We keep a constant update of the activities that are going on.
Do physicians keep in touch with you too? Do they call and
Yes, we hold seminars. We invite physicians to come in and
for a give and take.
For a give and well, most of the time it's not so much the give and take. That we might exchange on a telephone call. We have access to a large group of very competent people, so we don't presume to take care of the medical area. That's up to physicians. But we do invite them in. We have seminars, and we present whatever the update is or new material that we've discussed.
Going over some of the questions, I'm sure Bernie asked himself, what questions should people ask themselves at these pivotal junctures?
When they discover that they have cancer.
Or that there's such a predisposition that they know they must be on a good program of prevention, or...
Well, here, of course, is where there's a tremendous weakness, and what we would like to see, and this is our goal, is that that option be provided for the patient by the doctor. It's the best place for it, because they're not going to find an organization such as ours, nor necessarily feel that comfortable with an organization. But if the doctor they go to, and they're certainly going to go to their doctor, would provide them with all of the options, I think, and actually help them to make the final decision as to what they're going to do, and possibly incorporate the best of both systems for the patient as it's needed. I think that would be the ideal way to handle it.
Thank you both. More when we return.